added it on, clicking on options and clicking on view, test and compare. I did test and compare, but with 3 of the exact same thumbnails. I did this across multiple videos. What you can see is that YouTube actually gave me very different results. It said that this thumbnail was the most successful with a 40% watch time share, and this thumbnail was the least successful with 27% watch time share, which is interesting because these 2 thumbnails are literally exactly the same. So right now, should you fully trust YouTube's test and compare feature? A friend of mine has actually talked to YouTube's developer team who created this feature, and even the developers who created this feature say that they think it's about 50% accurate, which probably means it's like 30% accurate. So long story short, don't take the results that you get from thumbnail test as gospel. Also, it's not a bad idea to run the thumbnail test multiple times to make sure that your winning thumbnail actually is a winning thumbnail. But overall, I still do use it right now, assuming all 3 of your thumbnail variations are actually good quality. All right, if we continue down, we now are at the playlists section. Here, you can just click in here and just select all playlists that are relevant to your video and just hit done. Coming down further, we are at the copper section. This is where you have to designate whether your video is made for kids or made not for kids. The way you want to think about this here is think about, is your video made specifically for kids? So think about something like Peppa Pig, right? The TV show. That TV show is made specifically for kids. So if you're uploading videos like that, then yes, the video is made for kids. On the other hand, if you're uploading videos that are akin to, say, Marvel movies, right? Marvel movies aren't made for kids, even though kids enjoy watching them. And if your video content allows for you to do this genuinely, selecting no is usually the option you want because it's going to give you a whole bunch of extra features that would be unavailable if you said your video is made for kids. All right, continuing on, age restriction. If your video is very explicit, then yes, you can restrict it to viewers over the age of 18. Most of the time, you don't have to worry about this. Also, video game violence and stuff doesn't really count. So I had gaming channels, for example, for 5 years, lots of killing and death and stuff like that, and I never had to restrict my video to over 18s, and I never had any problems. So continuing on, paid promotion. If you have sponsors or brand deals, you're supposed to check this box legally. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't check this box, but I will say that a lot of big creators, and you guys have probably noticed this, don't check this box even when they are promoting things. So like, if you get this one wrong, it's probably not gonna matter, but I guess you should try and be genuine about this. Now, if you do check this box, it's gonna show a little banner at the beginning of your video that says this video includes paid promotion or something like that. Now, next we have YouTube's AI section. So basically, if you've created AI characters or footage that could be mistaken for real characters or footage, you're supposed to check yes here. So I'm just going to click no because I don't include that. Now, next one we have automatic chapters. Chapters are those things where you can see the video play bar has been broken up into multiple different segments. Sounds like a really great idea, turning on allowing automatic chapters and key moments. I hate it because YouTube's AI often gets it wrong. So I would turn it off if you want to add those sections or segments to your video, which, as you've probably seen from my uploading process here, I don't think it's necessary. There are times where I think chapters can sort of hurt retention because people see the upcoming chapters and they just skip to them. But of course, that's not every video. So if you do want to add chapters, I would do it manually. The way you would do that is you'd come up to your description and you would type 0:00 and then type the name of your first chapter. Then you'd come down and type the timestamp where that chapter ends. So let's say it's 0:20, then type the name of the next chapter that's going to be. So it might be intro, you might say 0.1, and go 0:50, 0.2, 150.3, etc., etc. You don't have to have these spaces, I just added them in for some reason. And that'll make those chapters appear inside of your video. Now, an important thing to note, if you are doing chapters, try not to spoil your video. So I see a lot of people do this. In their chapters, they basically spoil the content and make it so the viewers don't actually need to watch. So for example, if I had a chapter in this video that was like, why chapters don't matter, you're going to be watching the video and you're going to see that little chapter with its title and be like, okay, he said chapters don't matter, so I don't need to watch this. I'm just going to go to the next step, and people are going to skip. If you are doing chapters, when you're titling them, try to title them in a way that doesn't make people think, oh, I already know this, or I already know what's going to happen, and just skip to the next interesting part of your video. All right, going back down, continuing on, allow automatic places. We don't want YouTube to dox us, so let's take that off. Next, automatic concepts, turn that off. You don't want that. Next, we have tags. Now, tags in 2024 and beyond basically don't matter. I do use tags, and my rationale reasoning for that is the fact that YouTube has still included them means that they are somewhat relevant to some degree, but in my experience, the difference tags make is so minute that I put very little effort into this. I will basically just use a tool like vidIQ. I'll type in like one keyword, just copy all of the related keywords that show up and paste them in here in bulk. So it literally take you like 20 or 30 seconds to do this. And I don't think you should even bother spending more than that amount of time on tags. All right, continuing down. Video language, you can select that here. Caption certification, leave that at none. Recording date, I don't know why they have this. almost no one uses this feature, but I guess you can add the recording date of your video if you really want to. Now, license and distribution. If you select standard YouTube license, it means that people aren't supposed to take your video and re-upload it themselves. If you select Creative Commons attribution, it means that people can re-upload your video or re-upload parts of your video as long as they give you credit. Now, I like to leave it at Creative Commons attribution because I think, well, if someone wants to re-upload my video and credit me, it's like free promotion, it's free marketing for me. Why would I not want that? So most people have it as standard YouTube license because they don't want to